Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video. Today we finally have update 6.4 and the patch notes in our hands. Well, the patch notes in our hands, update 6.4 itself is right around the corner though, and it will be releasing next Wednesday on the 28th of February. Very strange day there. Normally they always release a patch on the Tuesday, so not really quite sure what is happening. But there is good news and there is bad news. So the good news is that we're getting a new update for the game, and they've even given us a little teaser for the upcoming Season 7. The bad news is there really isn't all that much in the update at all here, so this probably isn't going to be a particularly long video, although I do tend to ramble on, so, you know, maybe famous last words there. In any case, guys, if you do enjoy the content here on the channel, hit up that subscribe button and leave a like down below. That is always appreciated, so thank you guys so much for that. Okay, so first of all, as you guys may have already noticed, Control is back in the game, which was the mid-season game mode from the Archangel Directive. I believe that was the map with Reclaimed, right, Season 5 when that one came out. Only this time they've gone ahead and added 2 additional maps, so alongside Reclaimed, Orbital, Valparaiso and Arica Harbor, you now also get to play this game mode on Breakaway and Discarded. So, you know, I think that's pretty cool. Control has always been, in my opinion, one of the better game modes in the game, so much so that I would like to see this fleshed out and continued in a future Battlefield title. Now, moving on here, we have Persistent Servers Update, and spoiler alert, it's not what you think. In fact, it's nowhere near as good as what you think it was going to be. So Season 6 has now come to a close and we are on our way towards Season 7. As we make our way to the new season, we are improving how persistent servers function for Battlefield Portal. So a lot of us, I think, thought that, whoa, persistent servers? Are we getting a server browser for the main game? No, we're not, so I'm going to read on here. Going forward, if Battlefield 2042 does not have an active season, all custom experiences created within Battlefield Portal will now benefit from server persistence for 2 days, whereas previously this wasn't available. So during an active season, if you are a Battle Pass owner, so you've got the Premium Battle Pass, you will still benefit from 7 days of server persistence, allowing your server to remain active for a longer duration of time. So to me, this essentially sounds like they're trying to cover their bases when there is no season, which honestly is a little bit scary, but I can't say that I'm entirely surprised. So when there is a season going on, as you guys will know, if you're a premium owner and you've got the Battle Pass, your server will persist for 7 days unless nobody joins it, at which point, you know, then it will be taken down, right? But we haven't really had a gap between seasons before where there is no premium battle pass available, so this issue hasn't really arisen until now. So the way it's going to work is that everybody will essentially get access to these persistent servers, but only for 2 days. However, the reasoning why they're implementing this now, it may just be because they're having a little bit of a gap between Season 6 and Season 7 where there is no Battle Pass, but they could also, and more likely I think, be future-proofing things here for the inevitable gap between Season 7 and 8 that's going to rear its ugly head as well. If there even is a Season 8, right, it could just be Season 7 and then done, and then that's the way things will work from there on out. You know, you'll get this server persistence, but only for a couple of days, or maybe they'll, you know, introduce some new monetary feature into the game where you can buy, like, server persistence or something like that without there even being a season in place. So not really a major benefit to the game, in my opinion, rather something that sort of spells out that there's going to be less content for us overall moving forward. However, this next change is really good, and it shows that DICE, at least the vehicle team, are listening to what a lot of players want. So with update 6.4, we continue to expand upon the directional HUD features that were included in a previous game update. Taking on board player feedback, you will now be able to see the direction of your gunner with more clarity. So if you guys recall, they added the gunner direction of fire indicator to show both the pilot and the gunner which direction the helicopter and the gunner was facing respectively. We also included the ability to select between default, legacy, both, or disable this HUD feature within the options screen. This functionality is titled as Helicopter Gunner View. So the default here will give you Battlefield 2042's standard HUD with the weapon barrels showing the gunner's direction. So that's the one that is in the game right now, where you have the little picture of the helicopter, and then there's just the gun on top showing the direction that it's turning. Then we've got Legacy, which is inspired by previous titles, and this shows the gunner's pitch and yaw while using an animated triangle inside of a larger rectangular box. So for those of you who've played games like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, you'll know exactly what we're talking about here, and in my opinion, this system is far superior to what we have in Battlefield 2042 right now. So that's really, really nice to see. That was one of the biggest bits of feedback that we gave the vehicles team and DICE in general, was that this indicator really wasn't up to scratch, and they've actually listened to us, and they've gone and put in the work, they've put in the time and implemented a proper system. So that's really, really nice to see. Or alternatively, you can have both of these elements visible on screen at the same time, with one being placed above the other, so you have full control over however you want to do this. Furthermore, the helicopter impact point in the UI has seen some changes as well. So similar to the improved options for the Gunner directional HUD above, players will now be able to select between different crosshair indicators for their impact point crosshair. So you can now choose between a cross, a plus, or a circle, which is the current one, or you can disable the crosshair within the crosshair options screen altogether. So once again, this was one of the main critiques when they implemented this system. I think people enjoyed having this pip, this sort of predicted impact point in the game, but a lot of people didn't really like the crosshair, me included. This small little circle just really wasn't doing it for me, and to be honest with you, I've never really liked having my crosshair at all, predicted or not, as a circle. So really cool to see that you can now change that. I also know that some players complain that they didn't want to see this predicted impact point at all because they've just gotten so used to playing the game without it that they didn't want to see it there, so now they can go ahead and disable that. Now the next little interesting tidbit here is it says news networks coming online. News channels from around the world are reporting the formation of something redacted, not the map redacted, but like this text is redacted. It's getting kind of confusing now, isn't it? Conflicting reports from various networks paint different pictures of the impact this coalition will have on the future of our world. Stay tuned for the latest updates as the situation develops, and I can only assume here that this coalition that they're referring to is the Pan-Asian Coalition, aka the PAC, which was one of the two factions all the way back in Battlefield 2142. They also dropped this over on Twitter here. It says Battlefield 2042 Season 7 transmission, San Pedro de Atacama, Chile, Pan-Asian Coalition. So I'm going to let you guys listen to this.
Democratic stability has plummeted in recent months, with multiple nations across the globe seeing sudden totalitarian takeovers. This has sent ripples through many political alliances, as economic growth elsewhere changes the balance of power between East and West. While some analysts see the uprisings as a sort of social contagion, others have pointed to the sheer efficiency of these coups as a sign of more coordinated endeavors.
So it certainly sounds like there is some sort of social unrest happening in Chile, some sort of an uprising there, and this seems like it's going to be the next story arc for Battlefield 2042. I'm very interested to see if they're going to tie the lore of this one into Battlefield 2142 at all, and if, you know, perhaps, who knows, maybe that vehicle that we are going to get, if we are going to get a vehicle in Season 7, is going to be a walker. You'll also hear towards the end of the transmission there is some sort of scrambled audio, so I wouldn't be surprised, DICE being DICE, if they've hidden, you know, an interesting Easter egg in there, and I'm sure the Battlefield Easter egg hunting community are already hard at work trying to decipher whatever that could possibly be with their various audio decrypting methods. However, I do notice that they're pretty much just concentrating on this location in Chile. That is the only map we know of for Season 7 so far. I mean, we know there's going to be another map, but this is the only one that has been identified as being in Chile. So my suspicions have been, and I know a lot of your guys as well, that they're only going to release one of the two maps with the launch of Season 7, and the second one is going to come some weeks later around the mid-season. Honestly, I can't say I hate that idea. I really didn't like the way in Season 6 the content just really started to dry up very, very quickly, and the past couple of months, if I'm being perfectly honest, has been, you know, almost a desert. So I really hope that's going to change in Season 7. Other than that, there really isn't much else in this patch to write home about though, guys. I am going to link this down below for you guys. There are some AI soldier and general improvements here. If you guys want to pause these, you can read them, but honestly, I wouldn't really waste your time. It's mostly just bug fixes. And then they have some vehicle changes here, which I've already run over earlier on in the video. However, they do note here that they've added the ability to define the color as well as the shape of the impact point crosshair on all of the air vehicles. So that's cool. You can change the color there. Nice little addition to the game. Now, I do believe that DICE is going to start covering some of these upcoming changes and the quality of life improvements that are going to be arriving as part of Season 7 over the coming weeks. So hopefully, content isn't going to be as dead as it has been for the past month, and we are going to be getting some little tidbits from DICE here on just what is going to be happening in Season 7. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a video of the new gunner directional fire indicator for the UI in the attack helicopters. So that's going to be cool to see. But otherwise, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this video, guys. As always, if you enjoy the content here on the channel, hit up that subscribe button. We will be covering everything going into Season 7 and beyond. If you guys missed this video the other day where some journalist over on Game Rant thought that the best thing for the next Battlefield game would be dinosaurs, go and give that one a watch. It's rather interesting and somewhat alarming at the same time. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next video.